Hello and welcome to another video. And in today's video, we will be discussing about something that your parents don't want to talk with you or haven't ever talked about with you. So let's dive into the video after the intro. Today we will be discussing about personal finance, how to manage your finances and invest them wisely so that you can grow. Most of the people run away when they hear the word investment because they are scared of it, because they don't know what it even means. And if you are among them, then please don't worry. Or if you know something about personal finances, here are 10 personal finances book that will help you gain the maximum knowledge that you can about personal finances and how to grow your money and become rich. So without any further ado, let's dive into the list. Book number 10. The Total Money Makeover. When people make bad financial decisions, most of the times it is just that they take too much debt. And if that's the case, this book is for the rescue. This book suggests several baby steps through which you can pay off your debt and live a healthy financial life. But to say the truth, this book is a common sense book. I mean, all of the points and all of the principles talked about in this book are pure common sense. And that's why most of the people don't even like this book. But the truth is, common sense isn't common practice. And if you are someone who doesn't know anything about personal finances, then you should definitely read this book. It is for complete beginners. And if you know something about personal finances, then I think that it might be kind of boring to you. But still, if you want to, you can try it. But I'll recommend it to only complete beginners. Book number 9. The Little Book of Common Sense Investing. Investing, the word that today's generation is chasing after. But let me break it to you. Buying and selling is a zero-sum game. You don't know how much the stocks will grow. But buying and holding is a positive-sum game. It is the game which is played for long term and everyone wins in this game. And Warren Buffett, the chairman of Berkshire Hathaway and the richest investors of all time, suggests this book to everyone in his annual letter to shareholders of 2014. In this book, John C. Bogle, the founder of Vanguard Group and the creator of the first index funds, talks about the benefits of index fund. You can classify this book as an index fund book, but it has a lot of principles about investing that you should know about if you are trying to invest in stocks, in crypto or anything. But as a slight warning, this book was completely written from an US perspective. And it means if you are from India, then it tells you to invest in index funds, which is a very bad decision if you are from India. Because India is a developing country, there is a huge amount of growth in the stocks prices. And if you invest wisely, you can benefit from it. But as US is a completely developed country, the growth rate isn't that much. So that's why to beat the market, John C. Bogle suggests index funds. But index funds are a good idea for India too, but it shouldn't be the only thing that you invest in. You should also diversify to stocks and all of that stuff. Book number 8. Financial Freedom by Grant Sabatier. Grant Sabatier found himself with only $2 at the age of 24. And by the age of 30, he has become a millionaire and had achieved financial freedom. And through this book, he unravels his journey and the lessons that he learned along the way to his financial freedom. Financial freedom is a step-by-step guide to make more money in less time, so you have more time for the things that you love. It challenges the narrative of spending your whole life in a 9-to-5 job and retiring at the age of 65 and then enjoying freedom. And instead offers its readers an alternative way to financial freedom, and that too at an early age. This book is really great for the people who are living in US, but when it comes to India, people might get confused with the terms such as Roth IRA or 401k. But the principles said in this book will be completely relevant to each and everyone living anywhere. That's why you should definitely check this book out. Book number 7. Retire Before Mom and Dad. In this book, Forbes Deputy Director and personal finance expert Rob Berger tells you how to save, budget and invest your money. And it doesn't matter how much less money you have. You can still invest less amounts of money and earn big rewards. This is a great read for anyone who wants to work towards achieving financial freedom. Rob Berger demonstrates the power of saving and investing on any kind of income and gives home the message that financial freedom is achievable for everyone. And investment doesn't have to be complicated, and how you can become a millionaire with a middle class salary. It's a book whose principles are acceptable no matter who you are and where you are. This is a must read for everyone, but especially for the young kids who have just started earning or haven't even started earning and are about to start their first job or start earning. Book number 6. Let's Talk Money by Monika Halan. Monika Halan is a big name in the personal finance industry of India. And if you haven't even heard about her, then that you haven't dived deeper into the personal finance industry. And this book, Let's Talk Money, was written keeping an Indian audience at the point of view. and doesn't promise any kind of return on investment on the money that you invested. Instead, this book covers all the essential parts of a person's financial life and makes it easy to understand. This book's sole aim is to teach us about the basics of personal finance and make us do the hard work. But here's the catch. The book was written from an woman's point of view, so it resonates much with women. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't apply to men, but it just resonates more with women. So this is just a little slight glitch, but otherwise the book is a really great book for anyone who lives in India. Now coming to book number 5, Mint Your Money by Pranjal Kamra. Pranjal Kamra is one of the most successful personal finance experts on YouTube, and I personally have viewed all of his videos, and to say the truth, he is one of the most honest and transparent guy. You can completely trust in his wisdom and his expertise when it comes to investing and saving and all of that stuff. And this book, Mint Your Money, was completely written by keeping an Indian audience at view. This book is a no-nonsense guide to improving your financial decision making and handling and growing your finances in a simple manner. This book covers all aspects of personal finances, including saving, budgeting, taxation, and investment. This book was recently released in 2021 and is up to date with all taxation policies. So if you need something practical and easy to use, this is the book for you. And after you read this book, it will give you a strange urge to save and invest your money. And that's a positive point I guess. Book number 4, The Richest Man in Babylon. What do you think is a personal finance book's lifetime in a ever-changing personal finance world? 5 years? 10 years, 20 years? Well, what if I tell you that a book that was written 100 years ago is still relevant today? Yes, this book was written in 1926 and is still relevant today. And most of the personal finance books comes from this book's principles only. This book is the story of Arkad, a poor scribe who went on to become the richest man in Babylon. And he shares his story with his friends who came to him for advice on how he became rich, and in turn shares some invaluable lessons about money. And if you love The Alchemist and Who Took My Money, then you are definitely going to love it because it is in a story format. And what can be a better way to learn than stories? This book will change your mindset about money and will help you understand money even better. Book number 3, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramesh Sethi. Ramesh Sethi is also known as the Wealth Wizard. And this book is a no-nonsense 6-month guide to achieving a healthy financial life. And the best thing about this book's process is it's a completely automated one. In this book, he teaches us ways to automate saving and budgeting and investing so that we can spend the rest of the money that is left with us guilt-free. When I first read this book a few years ago, it didn't make sense to me because it talked a lot about credit cards and bank and all of that stuff. But now, the previous year when I read this book, it made completely sense to me. But here's a slight problem. This book applies completely to American population. And if you're from India or from any other place, then it might be slightly difficult to apply the principles of this book. But you can always modify the principles to your own needs and according to your border taxation policies. And at number 2, we have The Psychology of Money, the best personal finance book that I read in the year 2020. Have you ever thought that why people make dumb decisions with their money? Why they don't invest and why they don't save money and spend their life like their money will never end? And if you ever thought about anything like this, then this book will give you all the answers that you need. And just like this book says, The Psychology of Money, it dives deep into the psychology of money and why people do the things that they do. I have made a book summary of this book on my YouTube channel. You can watch it by clicking on the I button. This book will basically change your perspective on how you look at money and will give a radical shift to your mindset. And at number 1, we have the greatest book of all, The Rich Dad Poor Dad. This book has changed my life and millions others too. When I first read this book, it gave a radical mindset shift to me. I mean, it was like being reborn into a completely different person. And Robert Kiyosaki explains the basics of personal finance and how to get rich in such a easy and simple to understand manner that everyone agrees with him. But there are some people who hate Robert Kiyosaki and doubt where he earned his money and because he never revealed who his rich dad was and all that stuff. But I don't care and nobody should care too, because the lessons he teach in this book and in other books that he has written are timeless and should always be relevant. And this book is about a kid's story, a kid who wants to learn about how to get rich, and he goes to his father, but his father couldn't tell him because he doesn't know how to get rich. So it goes to his friend's father, whom he refers to as his rich dad. And the story is basically him learning about the basics of how to get rich and personal finance. And through the story, Robert Kiyosaki teaches us a lot about personal finances. And I believe that this book will completely change your mindset about money and about everything. Because when I read this book, I started hating school. And to say the truth, if you read Robert Kiyosaki's all books, you will eventually start hating school. So this is it for today. And I like to conclude by saying that in this list I have given 10 books. But the truth is you don't need to read 10 books because not all books will make sense to you. That's why you should try to read the books that you think will make sense to you. And if it doesn't make sense to you, then you should try other books too. So basically, you don't need 10 books. You need 3 to 5 books. But I suggested 10 books because I want to give you options. So this is it for today. Read these books and take your personal finance game to another level. And if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed it, please subscribe to us. Otherwise, you will miss out on such amazing videos and book summaries of some really great books. And that's it for today, and see you in another video. Until then, have a great day and keep reading.